So good afternoon all. A very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session. And it's now time to introduce the speaker of the day, Mr. Ashwini Kumar Tewari, Associate Professor and Head of School of Computer Applications, Lovely Professional University. Having more than 40 years of experience as senior top management in diverse industries, traveled and served in many countries like USA, US, Sweden, Romania, Malaysia, Singapore for consultancy, accounts management, and program management. He worked with many reputed brands like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited as head EDP as well. His research areas of interest are strategic business management, business information systems, enterprise resource planning, organization development and organization behavior, project management, and quality management. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we also have with us Ms. Shifali Datta, the Program Coordinator and Student Advisor, North and East India, IBM Career Education. She's having 10 years of experience as a Program Coordinator and Manager Operations, a business consultant also for education industry for 4 years. I welcome you, madam. We also have with us the most appropriate person to take up the queries regarding admissions, Ms. Kavi Shah, Assistant Professor, Lovely Professional University, having 8 years of experience pursuing her PhD, having more than 12 international publications, and has won Best Smart Education Award from Ministry of Urban Affairs. I welcome you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
And it's now over to Professor Tewari for content of the day.
Sure. My screen is visible? Okay. So I welcome all the students who are looking forward to a bright future, and that to a bright future through LPU. This is the first slide probably which I would like to highlight, that in the recent Olympic Games, we had 10 students who participated, and out of those 10 students, 9 of them got medals. The 70 members of the hockey team were all from LPU students. The gold medalist is from LPU. The bronze medalist is from LPU, right? So this is something what, apart from the studies, we also take care of the sports and other activities. So that's what probably I will say is a matter of proud for all of us, and they bring in proud to the country itself. Now coming to the topic of today, knowing the science behind data science and spotlight on BCA in tie-up with IBM. Now this is something which we have come recently to our mind, that there is a need for data science to be understood and used effectively by each and everyone. And if I go to the context of it, the main context is the change is something which is constant. It keeps on happening every now and then, irrespective of what happens, but the change definitely happens. And the people who are not able to keep pace with the change, they get instinct in their life. So keeping the same philosophy in mind, we decided that we also have to do something different and be with that time. All of us, we know that during the COVID period, every industry, every life has come to almost a standstill. But even during that time, IT played a very convincing and important role, whether it is healthcare, education sector, or providing information to each and everyone, or online business, digital payments, connecting people together, name anything. It is the IT which made the life of the people comfortable when we were actually confined to our 4 walls in the room at home itself, not allowed to go outside. So IT is something which definitely played a different role. And keeping that IT can actually make everyone's life comfortable, it can make the country go. We also decided that we need to focus something more than what today we are doing in the university, especially in the School of Computer Application. So if I see the industry trend and expectation from the students, so the TCS, they are planning to hire more than 40,000 students, and Infosys more than 25,000. These are only 2 figures, 3 figures. But if I go to all big companies in the IT, all of them, they are planning to hire much more people. That means the COVID-19 situation has not impacted the job industry as well as IT is concerned. So you as students are looking forward to start your career and you want to secure your career, we think that probably IT is one of the best way to go forward. Okay. And you are at the right place also. So we keep in mind that, so what is expected from the student, right? So what we see that the knowledge beyond the textbook is something which is very important. We are not only talking about what we teach in the classroom and from the textbook, but knowledge beyond that is one of the most important factors. That is what is expected from the student, right? And then be updated with the latest technology. You all must have heard in your school days various technology, maybe blockchain, IoT, artificial intelligence. So all those technologies are known to you, or you are aware of that. But then you need to get updated and get in-depth knowledge about all of that will make your life much better. Knowledge of at least one foreign language. You know, the IT industry is not confined only to India. Today, the IT industry, especially I'm talking about the Indian companies, they are spread over all over the world. You name a country and you'll find there is a presence of an Indian IT company there. As Rishi was telling, in my own 40 years career, I have traveled more than 50 countries to provide IT consultancy to various companies. So whether it is East European company or the Asian countries or the US, everywhere there is a requirement of IT, and Indian IT professionals are required everywhere. Okay, and in every technology also. So when you think about that, it is important that apart from knowing your own mother tongue and English, which probably all of us know, it is also good to have another knowledge which is known to you. Okay, and then multitasking. When you're getting into the IT profession, you want to be an IT professional, it is not what you do and you stick to that particular line of action. In IT companies, you may be asked to do multiple things at the same time. So it is a simultaneous doing multiple things. Now, this is something which needs to inculcate in your behavior in your day-to-day life. And the programs, what we are going to discuss, probably bring in this factor also, right? And then critical thinking. The industry wants that you need to be thinking out of the box. You have to be innovative, and you need to be in a position to evaluate a problem from different perspective itself, and then come out with the best solution. That is what is probably required. And then very important, adaptability and flexibility. You know, the COVID time, nobody thought that not going to the office and you can still work from home. We are working from home and we are teaching the students. The other IT industry people, they are keep on providing, or they kept on providing the solution to their clients worldwide. Okay, so this is how you flexible, you are adaptable to a different situation, even a different technology. Today you are a company and you're working maybe on machine learning. Tomorrow it may be something different. And very frequently it happens in the IT industry because the technology is changing very fast. That is something we use know. And creative and innovation is the mantra. So the future world looks like it was. So if you see, we are going to be handled with IoT, all the devices they're talking to each other. We are talking about cloud computing, fog computing, edge computing, and then we have blockchain, artificial intelligence, everything. So this is the future, and it is not in isolation. All these technologies, they have to gel together and work together. Now this is the future. And if I really see what are the various things which need to be focused, so starting with data science, big data, cyber security, visual design, user experience, mobile application, full stack, there are so many technologies which need to focus. And as a BCA student, we definitely cover a lot of them. We cover a lot of them so that you are prepared to face the future in much better way, right? Today we are talking very specifically IBM. Big data analytics, using big data analytics, that's inside with the IBM. Now, data science is the underneath. Today, each and every industry, whatever we talk about, they heavily depend on the data science. So data is something very important. all around us. You are using Facebook, you are using WhatsApp, you are using Twitter, you are using Instagram, you are going to the shopping site. Whatever you talk about, lot of data get generated. Is it meaningful? Probably. It doesn't make sense to me to say that, okay, if somebody knows my name, how does it make a difference? Or somebody knows my age, how does it make a difference? Or my salary. But then this information, this data, when it is getting converted into a meaningful information, is required, is used for making so many important, informed decisions, which can help the organization not only to survive, but also to excel. So each and every field, this is required. Now, today we are talking about the big data analytics program. So I need to actually make you ready why it is there. Okay. So there is a BCA regular where we teach you so many subjects and everything. But how come this BCA program in collaboration or in tie-up with IBM is different? So what we are trying to say is it will set you apart. You will be different. It is like the earlier day you have seen the Maggie sauce. It's different. So you are going to be different because you will be actually getting the knowledge not only from the university professors, you will also be getting the knowledge from the industry leaders who are masters in not only data analytics, in many more technologies. So that will actually make you apart from other students. So you will be different in all respects. Sorry. Okay. And then think big. The moment you are in this program, you are not those ordinary students who are doing a regular BCA program. You are different. So your thinking also will be very different. You will think about becoming maybe a CEO of a big company or maybe an entrepreneur or something like that. That is what we would like to inculcate in your mind, and we would like to prepare you for achieving something big in life, not something which is quite common for everybody to get it. Big data uses opportunities are multiple because whether it's a product decision making, companies who are manufacturing, so how much they have to manufacture, what products they have to manufacture, what prices should have, okay, how to market. All these decisions, they are all dependent on the data only. And this data, when we are talking about big data, is not a structured data, it's unstructured data. So lot many things get added into that, lot of machine learning get added to that, and it gives altogether a very different user experience or the customer experience. And this is how the companies, they are using these days the big data analysis to come out with an appropriate decision to help the organization to grow. So this is only just a few of this what I put, but when Ms. Shifali says, probably we should tell you many more things about this. And then you will be industry ready because you will be taught the subjects not only by the professors in the university, you will also be taught by the industry people. And the gap between the academia and the industry will be definitely bridged to a great extent that from day one, when you join an industry, you will be productive and the company will really get a benefit of that. So as I say, the salient features that delivery by experts from the industry and then aligned to the industry requirements. Since the IBM is associated with this program, all the courses what are being taught are going to be taught to you will be fully in adherence to what industry needs, not only today, even in the future. So your future is to be secure. We don't want to teach something which is an obsolete technology, which is not which will not be used in the future. And then you will also get certain global certification, which can actually enrich your profile and visibility to the various, I will say, companies or the hires who want your services. Now, IBM, something which probably I didn't mention to you, I started my career on IBM machines. So 45 years back, when none of you were born, and maybe none of in the panel also must be born, I started working on unit record machines. Shefali may will know it. Probably today it will be lying in some museum of IBM. So I started my career with the IBM 45 years back. And it's an old company. And that is a machine, unit record machine, very rugged, very, I will say, authentic and reliable and resilient. And we were able to do each and everything of an fighter airplane manufacturing using those unit record machines, okay? And then work on the IBM 360 machines, good olden days. So that is the IBM credential team, okay? So I started my career and I find from that 45 years back till today, IBM has gone up and up and up only. And they have kept pace with the technology which has come out so rapidly, and they kept pace with this. Today, each and every industry in the world, they will be using one or the other product of IBM. That much I can ensure. So afterwards, probably I've seen so many companies have changed. If I go any company, whether it's hardware or software, you'll find they are using it. So that means that endorses the industry worldwide. They are fully aware of the IBM. IBM is fully aware what is required by the industry. So the input which will get to you will be absolutely relevant, and that will make your future absolutely secure. And then during the program, IBM will also make sure that you have an interaction with certain international experts also, right? And then you will have free subscription to the latest technology courses like on the Pro Coursera. So probably more than 100 courses may be available, which probably because of the IBM, you will have an access and you can get into some certification free of cost also. And then access to Coursera, that's what I said. And then another very important factor is that today we are in the COVID situation and it is not online. But what we are trying to do is that we have to see that it's a blended and in a phased manner that this thing will happen. Today we will start online, but over a period of time, as and when the government allows us, you will see that you will be here in the campus, interacting with the industry people, interacting with us, and then the learning will be a very different experience altogether. And as I said, you will have access to more than 100 plus certifications. And not only that, whatever project you will do, you will also get input from IBM experts. Okay, so that is a big advantage. So IBM, we are going to teach you 8 courses in the BCA program. So these are analytics forum, these are the listed here. So I'm not going to get into detail, but what I'm trying to say that there are 8 courses, 2 courses in first 4 terms, which will be given by the IBM experts to you. And then based on this, you will choose your own project and work on the technologies on the data side, and that is how it will go. So I will stop here for the time being and hand over the presentation to Chef Aliman.
Thank you, sir, for a lovely introduction. And many things you have covered already in salient feature. So good morning, everyone. I'll be taking you towards why we stress upon analytics, as sir has already covered, that companies take these days data-driven decisions, but it is you also who are to be sure from where this data is being generated, how much impact we are making this data to become so big, and how do companies see this data after 3 years? Because since you are the young birds, you will be planning to undergo a graduation and you'll be passing out in 2024. So how do companies are going to perceive the data by the time you will be available to them in respect to deployment? Even if you look for further study, what should be the roles which you are to opt, that will be covered today. And I'll also be covering on how organizations are already taking insight from the data with some realistic examples so that you get enlightenment to how organizations are already taking output from the data and earning lakhs and abundance in the market. So as sir has already introduced to you to IBM, and you would have heard him saying that he has worked on IBM machines 40 or 45 years ago. So sir has correctly said that IBM is an old leader, and IBM has successfully completed 110 years. So you can trust upon the organization which has invented many technologies in the market. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'll be now taking you to first why we are stressing upon industry and academic collaboration, as sir correctly highlighted. that these days organizations expect you to do something beyond academia, because there are so many institutions offering degrees these days. Organization look for now skilled based resources, because gone those days when organizations used to invest time in training the employees. Now they feel like the decision should be taken from very first day when you opt for a graduation, so that you are very much clear on what kind of job roles you are going to take when you join the industry. And based on the projects you undergo, based on the technology you undergo and excel, you are being interviewed. So since IBM technologies are being used worldwide and are being used by lakhs of companies in the world, since IBM has presence over 177 countries, it is important for the people also to know how these enterprise resources function. So with the help of this initiative, we are also going to enable you to access all those softwares which are actually being used in industry. So while you will be learning with lovely professional university, you will be also exposed onto all enterprise level of softwares which you would eventually see when you are going to work with industry. That means your overall experience and exposure onto software will be far beyond than an average graduate. And this is the deck which you, I think, would be able to see, which talks about that human employers in future will need to do what robots cannot. And this is what organizations are going to search in an employee. So if you will be just focused on practicing handwriting and learning method multiplications, you won't be able to get the future job, because it is anticipated by next year onwards 65% of jobs you see right now will no longer be available. There will be new collar jobs coming into the market, and this is an impact of rapid change happening in technology. Since you every day hear about a new technology, and Dr. Tewari has correctly mentioned, then that in COVID situation, what has helped us to survive, that is internet. Had it not been there, there would have been a huge destruction in the economy worldwide. Still, many people were able to save their job with the help of internet. So earlier, I have been even talking to people that there will be huge requirement of data scientists, analysts, etc. But during the span of 1.5 years, the tendency has completely changed. Those people who were not digitally literate are now have only this as an option to survive in the market. So earlier we had an expectation that there will be increase of 6% year on year in respect to change in trend in respect to smart devices usage, which has eventually changed to 3 times more during this COVID situation. However, once the situation get normal, there's again a prediction that every year there will be 6% more usage in respect to smart devices. Your parents would have been often already complaining you that you are actually not socialized, because getting over Facebook, getting over Insta does not mean that you are social. It means when you actually talk to your relatives, you participate in outdoor activities, etc. But you know that even if phone is given to us, we will not bother anybody even for 3 4 days. We know how to spend our day and time. So phone has become our friend for lifetime. And if you see here in the deck, you would find the lifestyle of people is declining. The games, outdoor games are declining, personalized time is declining, photography and sports is declining. And what has increased these days? We don't trust on the news which we hear over television. We trust on the news which we see over mobile. Through an application, again, we generally rely on these days over calculation using compass, etc., where over utility and productivity like application. Similarly, these days business and finances are happening where online on phone, and you can play now a super oldest song to super latest song, and you can make a small room, a party hall or a home theater, etc., with the help of again technology and application. Similarly, people were earlier offended when this e-commerce sites came in picture, but you know that nowadays people seamlessly buy even gadgets over e-portals, and this has also got abundance acceptance in the market. And who had ever thought that Uber, Ola, or maybe a car will just come to our doorstep and will give us a fare which to be paid by us almost similar to you traveling through auto. or maybe lesser than traveling through an auto. So this is where the trend has changed. This is where we have changed, and we have started using this technology. So these days we are dependent on smart technology, smart devices more than ever before, and that is why our socialized time or our time to interact with people is declining. But the increased trend is happening in respect to using this application, which is leading to flood of data in the market. Earlier, it was a problem for an organization to manage these data, but later they realized that if they slice down this data, if they create dashboard and reporting from the data and find useful information from the data, they can win over the trust of the customer. And eventually, since customer is the king, wherever you work with IT company, you work with aerospace industry, defense, anywhere. Even in defense, I don't mean customer is there, but you can say that how do we deal, when attacks are going to happen, where the attacks are going to happen. This is where analytics plays a vital role. Since these days most of the things are application oriented, technology oriented, earlier companies did not have historical data to actually decide what to be given to a customer. Because of the intervention of technology in place and cloud computing as a technology which has played a vital role for this data to be humongous, for this data to be feeded and to be stored, companies started finding opportunities to analyze their data to find solution to the problems and give customized offering to the customer. And you also know that whenever we are using any banking app, we generally like this app when we are getting something beyond banking. Sometimes offers related to Swiggy, that if you use debit card of ICICI, you're going to get 200 rupees off while placing order to Swiggy. So banking industry also started offering us something beyond banking, so that we start using their card, we start using their services. And this is where analytics plays a vital role. Similarly, you would have heard about Internet of Things, maybe Fitbit watches, and you would be knowing that these smart bands actually help to save many people life. When their heartbeat was increasing, the device itself conveyed them before any calamity could happen that there is a risk of heart attack, and before the patient could fall, they have reached to hospital and got treated. So this is where Internet of Things like devices are helping. But if you see here already, analytics is a field which is evergreen. Whether we choose artificial intelligence, where we are communicating with the robot is communicating with a machine, or a human being, a customer. Now, how machine is responding, what kind of questions were being asked by the customer, did the machine work help to address those queries, do we need to add features in the machine? That will be again the role of analyst. Similarly, you know that cyber attacks are also going to increase going forward. Now, I should also know to analyze that when the attack is actually going to happen, what kind of mistakes a developer do while creating a code which leads the hacker to steal the information. So any application which is being used in the world, be it's AI, it's machine learning, it's IoT, it's security, analyst will play a vital role there to give decisions or to give insights to a company that where they are going wrong. Even after maybe BCA, if you're looking for opportunity to do a course on MBA, even in the field of finance, HR, IT, marketing, you would need to know analytics there. That's why in the first program which has shown to you, that is analytics for all, by that you understand that how much wider is the scope of analytics in the field. And since in the world, if we talk, we are generating approximately 2.5 ton byte of data right now. Every day, the entire world generates a 2.5 ton byte of data, which is expected to increase 4 to 5 times more after 4 years. So by that time, the data which will be generated by us is going to be 10 ton byte every day. That means that many requirement of people to come to give organization insights on how they can make a better strategy to go to market, how they can retain a customer with a better service, what price they should put for a particular product at what season, when the customers are expected to visit more on their portal. So these all insights they are going to draw through data. And you also know that since the data is huge, we are not talking about a data which is 5 in number, 10 in number. it is not humanly possible to track this data. It is not humanly possible to drive decision from the data. We need help of software bots. And whereas companies like IBM have made already high-end softwares, and as an expert, as an analyst, you should get a touch and look and feel of how to use that software. Once you know that, you can even upload infinite number of data and can find insightful information from the data. Alike you, when you become a new learner to learn a smartphone, the same way you are to understand that how software functions. And once you know how software functions, it will eventually helps you to actually get a graph of what is happening to your organization, so that as a human you can suggest the organization what strategies to be made in order to enhance the feature of the application. So if you see here already, Facebook generates 4 petabytes of new data every day, which, and that data comes from 1.5 billion active users. Even Instagram is new these days, but right now even it has touched the heart of 500 million users which are daily active. So it's not the total number of users, number of users which remains active every day. And similarly, Swiggy, Zomato, all restaurant in one platform is managing every average order which is being placed every day, that is 1.45 million. How this application managed? This is not an IT company, but they have adopted IT. With the help of analytics, they also throw coupons to customer. Let's say I am placing order to Swiggy regularly for 3 to 4 days, and they have got my buying behavior that I place order between 12 to 2. But after that, for a week, I have stopped placing order. Now to get me back, what they give me miss you coupons, they give me lunch coupons, and that generally coupon land in my SMS box or my application box before the time I place order. So how they analyze that trend? And here we are not talking about you and me. Again, we are talking about the entire world. They make different strategy as per the people and their buying behavior. And this is where these high-end softwares help them to do that. So if you see here on the other side, after 4 years, we are expecting that there will be 80 billion connected devices and 21 billion devices will be connected to internet. Internet is going to be so cheaper, or it's going to be free for all. So that means the data which we are talking right now is going to increase more. And 30% of data which will generate 4 years from now will be real time. By real time, we mean palak jhapakte, with a blink of your eye, you will have a new data in place which might change your decision, because if you as an analyst have drawn a decision from a data, that 30% real-time data might change your decision which you have drawn from the previous data. This much data is going to be, so that's why we always quote is as there will be flood of data going forward. Those people who know how to use this high-end machine to slice down this data, to churn this data, and to find or draw insights from the data will be getting not only job, but will be getting 2 or 3x fold salary than an average graduate. So when the entire world will be going towards analytic, it is always better to choose prior. So by the time you will be at a position of a team leader or manager, and rest the entire world will be working or reporting to you, under you, either working under you or will be reporting to you, because it is going to take time for people to analyze the importance of it. And there is no question saying that after 3 or 4 days, it might become a mandatory subject for an engineer as well as a computer application or a person from IT background to undergo. So right now it is given optional, but again, nobody can get expertise, or nobody can become a developer or analyst by doing 3 or 6 months course. This is an entire journey and the cycle for you to understand the technology. Because if you will not know basic and intermediate level of technology and you will just do advanced level, you will stuck even if you get a job, because you don't know the ABC of technology. You have started working on projects directly. So it is important for you, if you want to retain in the organization and you want to be the last one to leave the organization, even in the situation like pandemic, even in the situation like global crisis, or situation like recession, then you need to know the entire cycle of technology, so that you will be the last one to leave the organization, or you will never be leaving the organization. You will be able to always retain your job. So This is just a quotation again around analytics, as I have covered already, that it helps organizations to draw decision-making ability significantly. Now the decisions are not based on biasment. Decisions are not based on their self-prediction. Decisions are more data-driven. And when we say data-driven, the decision accuracy automatically increases. These 4 V's plays a significant role. Why we call this data is so humongous, so big? That is because of volume. The data is increasing in volume day on day as people are getting more digitized, they are getting more digitally literate. So data attributes are increasing from exabyte to zettabyte to yottabyte, and so forth. Next is velocity. Since more people are getting onto internet and there are a lot of real-time streaming which is happening, there is a lot of improvement in internet speed, etc., which is happening, and there are more smart devices connected to a phone, to a system. So velocity is the speed of the data which is increasing every day. Third is variety. That is, now since we have different devices to operate an application or to operate a system. We have mobile, we have social media, we have video, we have genomics, we have internet of things like technology. So the variation of data is also increasing. As sir has already conveyed you that in data analytics we deal with more unstructured data. By that we mean, if even we take an example of Facebook, you sometimes post an image, you post a song, you post just a liner or sometimes emoji. Now these all data are different in nature. Image will have its different attributes, video will have its different attribute. So the data which is coming to the server, that has different attributes, and that is why we call unstructured data, that the data is not formalized in a particular sequence or a structure. The data has been generated into multiple structure, and that is where we call that we are getting variety of data. Now there will be a data which is blur, which might not help as an analyst to search, because we have to put it in a bin or put it in rest so that we might filter it out and find those data which is readable. Now variety of data, since is increasing, it is also making this data to become so big. And the fourth, and which is a challenge for the organization, is veracity. That is, now the data which a data scientist or an analyst use to form decision need not to be necessarily accurate. Why? Because if you have chosen a driver or a source for the data where the information is not given completely, or it has a false or misleading information, that means the result which you are going to get by analyzing that data is going to be not as accurate as you are anticipating. For an example, I'll even give that example in Hindi to you, so you better understand. Since you are recently passed out, आपको पता होगा कि जो भी इवेल्युएटर एग्जाम चेक करता है, अगर आपको पता है कि वो लेंथ ऑफ द आंसर देखता है, तो काफी सारे आप में से खुराफाती बच्चों ने क्या किया होगा, उसमें गाने लिख के आए होंगे और समथिंग एल्स, क्योंकि आपको पता है जो इवेल्युएटर है वो क्या देख रहा है, लेंथ ऑफ द आंसर, वो ये नहीं देख रहा कि इनसाइड कंटेंट क्या है. सिमिलर वे veracity plays a vital role. Kitne sare blogs hai in the market. There are so many sources to get the data. Now, a blogger can be an educated person and a blogger can be any Tom, Dick and Harry. Now, how do I find ki jo main data and the source use kar rahi hu, that has to be accurate, that has to be complete, so that the decision which I derive from the data should be 99.9% accurate. For that, companies use filters, companies use keywords, so that the decision should not go wrong. One of its example is even machine learning. That is, you know that in email there is a spam filter. Many a time you have not marked the mail as spam, but it goes to spam, because as per the guideline of Google, they have done a spam filtration. They have set already a keyword, even which a layman is sending a mail and have used that false keyword, which can be which is violating the rules of Google, maybe by using some misleading words or the words which are blocked by Google. Your mail will be auto marked as spam. So this is where they are already using machine learning tendencies, so that people do not feel that flood of mails they are getting from unwanted sources. That's why, as per their understanding, they have filtered their data and ensured that those mails which are actually coming from the recipient should be in the inbox, and those mails which are found to have vulgar content or content which is not allowed or blocked by Google should not be coming into the inbox, so that people should use email account more often, else people will surrender. They will stop using email account. So this is how Google has ensured that people get the right mail in the inbox. So for a data analyst, the main problem comes while filtering the data is veracity. They are to ensure that the data which is coming from the different sources should be justifiable and should be accurate. And after these all four V's, volume, velocity, variety, veracity, what we draw for the organization is value. Even if you are working as a developer in an organization, you are working as an administrator for an organization, manager, CXO or anything, your main purpose to do any project would be to draw value. One, the foremost is profit, that is monetary benefit for the company. Second, medical and social benefit. If any customer, even the employee of the company, is medically and socially benefited by the organization, then he or she will stick with the organization no matter what the outside world is offering them. Third is personal satisfaction. As customer remains always the king, it is very important for the customer to be personally satisfied, so that you will not lose the customer, you are not going to lose the database, and you are always going to enhance and enrich the experience of your existing customer, and your existing customer will help you to get abundant business by word of mouth. And this is where personal satisfaction matter. So you work with any of the organization, be it's government, banking, insurance, hospital, anywhere. What matter is three V's. One is monetary benefit, medical social benefit, and personal satisfaction. If your results of analytics, if your result of application provision these all, you will be always earning abundant from the existing organization. Some of the example of analytic is prescriptive analytic. Many of you would have booked online ticket for airway. You would have seen that the price of booking a ticket for flights change every minute, change every second, and change every hour. This is where they use big data analytics, which is called in industry term prescriptive analytics. They draw strategies based on the buying behavior of the customer, and what they're trying to do is, if any flight is booked by 50% of occupant, what it will do is they will try to ensure that that particular flight gets booked more, because the flight is eventually going to take off. So they will be in huge profit if the entire flight is filled with the passengers. So we as in customers are being shown that the price of flight is increasing or there are limited seats. So what we do with the fear of losing that particular seat or that price, we generally book the ticket immediately. So this is where organizations are using real-time data, which is big data analytics, to form decision, and they throw decision. Second example, I'll show you of Uber. I think I have the deck, so I'll keep it for that time. That how Uber is using realistic data to give you or allocate you the amount which you have to pay when you take a ride from Uber or Ola. Second is predictive analytics. You would have encountered many grocery store, even if you are buying online through Big Basket, Big Bazaar, or any other platform, you would be seeing that they give you some cashback coupons, or they give you coupons which you might actually use going forward. Why they do is because they do predictive analytics, that if X amount of sale happen, they will be eventually in profit, to ensure that you rebuy from them, and to ensure that you actually use that coupon and find better in their service. They hand over to you a discount coupons or cashback coupon. So this way they ensure two things. One, you are revisiting the site and buying something. Second, they ensure that you are still become their existing customer, because you will shortly promote them by saying that they give coupon also and something below MRP. So this is where they use predictive analytics. This is again for illustration purpose. As I told you that for machine learning also we use predictive analytic methodology. We train the data, we train the machine in such a manner from the data that by setting algorithm, it start responding and learning from the data. So we as in developer, what we do is we set algorithm and we set a data source from where the data will be generated, and based on that data the machine will start developing its attributes and the machine will start responding. Third and foremost is descriptive analytic, which is called business intelligence, which we can use for artificial intelligence. Netflix is a very good example. You all would be watching online streaming portals. You would have seen Netflix start suggesting you what is the right movie for you, right series for you based on your previous watches. Similarly, YouTube does, Google Prime does, and everybody. Because who has time these days to scroll down and find what is right for us? Even we ourselves don't know that much about us, which our technology knows. So this is where they use descriptive analytic based on your past behavior, based on what you have watched, based on what you have liked, based on which link you have stayed for longer period. They start suggesting you, and this is where we call business intelligence and artificial intelligence, which plays a main attributes to analytic, which is called descriptive analytics. So as I told you about Uber, they use the analytics in a right fashion. You would have encountered that if you are traveling from one place to another frequently, you always land up paying different amount. It is called surge in pricing. So for example, if you are standing at a place which is crowded by people, then you should be ready to pay double of the amount, because they have detected that there are more people surrounded, drivers are limited, and those who will be in urgency to go one place to another would even don't mind paying more. So this is where they use surge in pricing. That's why the allocation of price you pay to Uber keeps on changing. Similarly, if their drivers are at remote location, they are not getting any ride. What they do is to nearby devices or the people who generally travel by using coupons, they give them offer, so that people see the offer and they book a ride, and the driver come out from remote area to area where they are likely to get more rides. So this is where Uber is already using big data analytics. Here I have not given you example of IT, because our purpose here to share these technologies, that IT is not only the company to work for. Since all the sectors are adopting technology, even our government is adopting technology, you can seamlessly work with them, and you would find your salary also that will be beyond IT, which will be offered to you by them, because there are very less people who think of choosing opportunity with Uber, Ola, Zomato, Swiggy as an IT administrator or expert, or maybe with government, whereas everybody or the entire crowd is running to look for job in IT. That's why employers become very selective. But if you choose other industries also, you will find automation is everywhere. Even Indian Railways using IBM server and database. If you get a job as an IT administrator or you get a job as an analyst at Indian Railway, that is also a good place for you to work, where you get government job also and a job related to your field. As sir has told you already that there are many companies which are using IBM technology. So he has also illustrated you about TCS Drive, hiring, Infosys, etc. This is also important for you to know that TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, Emerson, Capgemini, in fact, Apple, Samsung, they all are using IBM technology. So IBM enterprise software enable you not only to work with IBM, to be eligible within IBM, but to be eligible in all those firms, multinational companies which are using that technology. And similar is our banking industry. Whenever a customer do RTGS fund transfer system or NEFT, it is made mandatory by Reserve Bank of India that they are to use IBM software. So if they want to facilitate customer with these services, they are to purchase a software which is costing 6 crore rupees. That means banking industries are also looking for people who know how to work on that software, how to analyze that. Because you know that in banks, we are being encouraged to deposit a cash through machine. So very soon the jobs of cashier, the job of clerk will diminish or will be no longer available. But for whom the jobs will be more? Analyst, who can see how much cash is being deposited in a machine, who knows that which preferred clients are good for loan, which clients are good to buy credit card, which clients are defaulter who should not be called even by customer care executive because their average balance is less, to which client we should consider for premium. Because if a client is found booking more air tickets, you can tie up even with maybe that particular airline, and you can also offer some benefits while booking a ticket using your credit card or debit card, so the client will get points. On the other side, the usage of your banking facility would also increase. So this is where banking industries are also looking for analysts who can help them to make a huge customer base and to make the customer happy by adding on service which are digitized. This is it, sir, from my side. In case if students have query, I am available to take that up.
So that was wonderful watching you talking on world of future, salient features, 5 V's of big data, and many other things. So that was really informative. And thank you, Professor Tewari and Ms. Shefali, for taking up the technical details and few others. And now it's going to be a quick presentation by Ms. Kavisha regarding the admissions. She'll talk about a little bit of scholarship and the eligibility part. Over to Ms. Kavisha.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be taking you to the exotic journey of lovely professional university. I hope my screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll start with where Professor Tewari already mentioned, but I'll take a matter of pride to again share with my students that 11 LQ students were participating in Tokyo Olympics 2020, and out of 11, 9 students have got glorials to our country. And it is really a matter of pride that yes, 1/10 of the participants who were participating in Tokyo Olympic from India were from lovely professional university. Talking about the campus life and the exposure offered, I'll start with 106th Indian Science Congress was held in lovely professional university and was inaugurated by none other than Shri Honorable PM of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Dalai Lama is part of convocation at lovely professional university. Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji sharing the stage with the Honorable Chancellor, Shri Ashok Mittal ji. Talking about the Shri Arun Jaitley ji, who did the inauguration for startup of LPU Startup School. Talking about the Gaur Gopal Das ji giving eminent and valuable information about life to my students. From real life to all the real life heroes are associated with lovely professional university, talking from Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, MS Dhoni, Sonam Kapoor. When they share their real life experiences, that actually motivate my students to perform good. When I talk about infrastructure, I can really vouch on one thing: we have world's best infrastructure. Maybe we're talking about this eminent architecture where 14 blocks are attached together. You need to let's keep inside this architecture. There's an auditorium with 2,500 student capacity where you've already seen where Gaur Gopal Das ji was giving his valuable information in this particular auditorium. We have the well-equipped labs. We have the centrally air-conditioned library. We have the Uni Mall. We call it the heart of lovely professional university with all basic amenities available inside the campus. We do believe fitness is very important goal of my students. So we do have a gym inside the university. Layer activities are also part of lovely professional university. We do have a well-equipped hospital with 20 beds and well-experienced doctors to take care of your health. And this is we call it Unipolis. All the major events take place here, and see how smartly the shed is being used with the solar panels. Now, this is something, an exotic view of lovely professional university. It is just 1/3 building. The lush green environment. I feel so proud that yes, I am associated with this university. Lovely professional university, sparkling and shining in the light of moon and stars. And talking about the Olympic side, swimming pool, we have the shooting range, we have badminton court, basketball court, you name a sport, and we have the well-experienced trainers also available inside the campus. Talking about the residential and the security, your security is our priority. We believe it is a completely a ragging-free campus. Complete turnstile gates are there for your security. We have 1-seater, 2-seater, 3-seater, 4-seater, air cooler and air-conditioned hostels. We have luxury apartments. If we talk about the capacity, it is 20,000 students staying in single under one. I'll say lovely professional university. LPU is a mini town itself. 6 girls hostel and 8 boys hostel with the food options, standard South Indian, North Indian. If I talk about 4-seater air cooler, if you book it before 20th of August, you'll get the EDP benefit and your cost will be only 65,000. And for food is 34,000 per academic year. Talking about the residential facilities, we have banks, ATMs, Wi-Fi, post office, gymnasium. I've shown you all the visualizations of all these things that we are available in lovely professional university. Talking about the programs offered after class 12th, if I talk about the programs that are offered as BCA, we have BCA Big Data Analytics and tie-up with IBM, which is the prime goal for today. BCA Honors, BSc Honors Computer Science, BSc IT. But right now we'll be discussing about the BCA Big Data Analytics in tie-up with IBM. Let's talk about the eligibility of this program. It is the pass with 60% aggregate marks in 10+2 with English or equivalent, right? And there's a direct admission available in this particular program. If you want to know the eligibility of other programs, you can definitely call us on toll-free number, or you can visit our website, lpu.in. Talking about the fee and scholarship, as we know, the fee matters, right? The money matters. Talking about the scholarship, we have 16,000 students benefited by LPU scholarship in last 7 years. That accounts for rupees 500 crore total scholarship. Now, let's talk about the fee. It is 1 lakh per semester, but we do offer a very good scholarship in this particular program. The bracket, if I talk about the 30% scholarship, how you can avail that scholarship, we are talking about the previous 2 qualifications. If your marks in 10th and 12th, 80 to 89.9%, or in LPUNS cutoff 3, you will be liable for 30% scholarship, and your fee will be only 70,000 per semester. Now, moving on the next bracket, that is 40% scholarship, and the fee will be only 60,000 per semester. How you can get it? If your marks in 10th or 12th is 90 to 94.9%, or in LPUNS cutoff 2, you'll be liable for this higher bracket of scholarship. Now, talking about the highest bracket of scholarship, that is 50%, how you can avail this? If your marks is in 10th or 12th above 95%, or LPUNS cutoff 1, you will be able to get the highest bracket of scholarship, and your fee will be only 50,000 per semester. Now, I want to stress on one thing. Once you get the scholarship, it will be applicable for complete 3 years of your BCA. It's not that we only offer for first year or first semester. We give it for complete 3 years, and it is not revoked. It is only revoked until unless you're involved in any of the interdisciplinary actions. Now, we do have other scholarships as well, depending on the course you choose. Defense, if your parents are from defense, need-based scholarships, sports and cultural, national level test. And the application process for this particular program is very, very simple. You need to register into LPU Admit. We have basic details, name, email ID, mobile number, state, gender, and password. Your email ID will act as a username for the portal, and password will be set for registering on the portal. You can directly take the application, you can directly take the admission in this particular program, and you can apply for LPUNS for the scholarship, book your slot, and you can get the benefit of the scholarship through LPUNS as well. Thank you so much from my side. I'll request you can take a screenshot of this last slide that I'm showing to you, and you can contact us through the helpline number or the email address that is mentioned here, admissions@lpu.co.in. And if you have any queries, I'm here to answer your queries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kavisha, for being very quick and informative. And now we are going to be very quick in taking a few of the questions from the attendees. I would request all the attendees to either raise your hand through the interface so that I can connect you directly to the experts with us, and or you can text me your queries. So I see Shifali has raised the hand. I'm going to give you the rights. Shifali, please unmute yourself and put in your question. Yeah, Shifali. Shifali, we can hear you. Please speak up. Okay, we are unable to connect to Shifali. Meanwhile, we do have a question from Samarth Ashish, and the question goes to Professor Tewari. He wants to know what are the major topics other than data analytics that will be taught in BCA.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah, perfect, sir.
Okay. As I mentioned in my talk itself, that it is not only these 8 courses from the IBM. You are going to be with us for 3 years, and you will be actually going to 30 subjects in total. So apart from these 8 subjects, we will be actually teaching you the 4 subjects. What are the 4 subjects? Like the programming. So you will be exposed to C, C++, Python, okay? And then you will also be given some expert specialized courses, like it may be a IoT or it may be a cloud computing. The choice is given to the student that they can pick up what they want to study. Database is a 4 subject, you will hear it. Digital electronics Is that a core subject? You will study this. So there are core subjectives which will be taught to you irrespective of whichever stream you get into. And apart from that, IBM, we will also allow you to have one more specialization, which will be consisting of 4 courses. It may be any which decide at that point in time. So that will happen maybe in the second year. Okay. So second year you will get an opportunity to study another specialization course apart from IBM data science.
Professor Rishi, should I add to it? As sometimes students think that they are to study extra subject when they choose specialization. It is important for everybody to know that if in general BCA there were say 30 subjects, in the specialized BCA program also subject count will remain all in all same. Only those core subjects which we found might not be required for a computer application graduate to know, and which can be replaced with industry integrated subjects that have been replaced, so that we can inculcate industry alliance in much better and wider fashion. So almost the subjects which you are going to study, even from IBM experts, the count of those subjects would remain all in all same when you compare with general BCA. But that every semester, as sir have shared with you already, at least 2 subjects you are going to study from industry, and some of the subjects starting from maybe 2nd or 3rd semester will be taught to you by university faculty member, in which on which IBM will also going to give you the course access, but with the rich experience of industry academia, as well as from the professors from lovely professional university. They will also manage to conduct certain subjects like cloud computing, Python, as sir has shared already with you, database management system. So the core of some subjects for which you will be going to get the access for the courses through IBM will be taught by the university faculty, and in the same semester subjects like data analytics, microservices, NoSQL database, or maybe text analytics will be taught to you by IBM experts. So this is how we call this program to be a blended learning program. So no extra subjects you are to study, but some of the core subjects of BCA have been replaced to industry oriented subjects, so that you also fulfill the requirement of credits, and you need not to study something extra. And while learning the component of undergraduate program, you get the same look and feel and experience as you will get when you are working in an industry.
That was elaborate one. Thank you so much, madam, and Professor Tewari as well. And the next query is coming from Trisha Roy. Trisha, I have given you the necessary rights. Please unmute yourself and put up your question. Trisha Roy. Trisha, are you there? Please unmute yourself. Trisha is unable to get connected. Okay. Trisha has texted me rather the query. Will this IBM data science course will be taught to everyone, even to general BCA also? So goes to Professor Tewari.
No, absolutely no, because as you said, this is a separate program. Fee is different, so regular BCA student will not be participating in this. Absolutely no.
So Trisha,
you are different. As I mentioned, that you are different.
Wonderful. So we have a query from Gurpreet. Gurpreet, I have given you the rights. Can you put in your question if you have any? Gurpreet Kaur.
Sir, actually the transport facilities, suppose from a different state, so are the transport facilities available to come from Hyderabad to Punjab to attend the universities, or should we direct like?
Kavisha madam, would you take up this query?
Yeah. See, you need to come to the campus by yourself only. Because earlier when there was the reporting and scheduling, we used to have a pickup and drop facility from the different places like nearby, from the Cant area and from your, Jalandhar, Cant and Fagwada. But right now, due to the COVID, you have to come to at your own pace and your own time, right? So if you just want to visit the campus, but I'll suggest you, rather than right now during the COVID time, you can go for the virtual tour of lovely professional university. It is available in our website, and you can even go for the video counseling if you want to have any kind of any query you have, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So LPU is actually well connected by air, by rail, by road. So from if you are coming from Hyderabad or any place, you can come the nearest airport is Chandigarh or the Amritsar. From there, you can take a train or a bus, come to the nearest railway station, either Parwara or Jalandhar, and then probably you have other transportation available. But when you come for joining, probably at that point in time, we do make arrangements to pick up the students from the nearest railway station or the bus stand, like Jalandhar railway station, Parwara railway station, or the bus stand at two places.
Yes, true.
Thank you so much, sir. And the next is a very important query that's coming from Trisha Roy. She wants to know, so if I want to change my course from general BCA to this IBM data science course, what is the process? And it again goes to Kavisha, madam.
It's very simple. I think you must have logged into admission.lpu.in. You go to their post-admission services. If you have taken the admission, there'll be an option coming to you, post-admission services. And in there, you will come in, you'll get in left side of it, program transfer. You can click on it and you can choose your program in which you can go for it. And your program transfer will be done within 24 to 48 hours. If still it's not done, you can call us on our toll-free number and we'll be very happy to help you out.
I think Ms. Kavisha, they can also contact their admission officer for the same. He'll be helping them out.
Yes, sir, definitely. They can contact the admission officers as well. And it's very important to call them between 9 to 5. If you call them after 5, they might not be available. But we are available till 8 o'clock on our toll-free numbers.
Wonderful. So, thankfully, we have taken up almost all the queries by the attendees, and it's now time to sign off by saying that experts, your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such an interesting way produced one of the most wonderful afternoons for all the attendees. On behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I would like to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, the attendees also found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided by the experts to decide regarding the decision for your admissions. I am obliged and thankful to all the experts, Professor Tewari, Ms. Shifali, and Ms. Kavisha for strengthening this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rishi, for having me here, and thanks to the students for the active participation. And of course, nevertheless, thanks to Ms. Kavisha for explaining very well the process of enrollment, and Professor Tewari, who have been always supportive in making this new change to happen. He was very receptive for this, and he promptly even said yes for such programs. So thank you for understanding. This gives industries also boost to introduce and handshake with academia seamlessly. So thanks to the entire team of LPU. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so
I
much,
welcome
sir.
Shifali ma'am and welcome IBM.
Sir, let me break the protocol for a while. Can I do that? I have one query that seems to be really important that has come just now. Can I take up that? So students, all the attendees are very fast. So one more. Abhijit Khare wants to know, as I want to go for my further studies in MS in abroad university, will this course be significant in that scenario? Over to Shifali, ma'am.
Thank you, and this is seriously an important question. As we have shared with you that IBM has presence worldwide, and the kind of certificate and certification, professional level of certification which you are going to achieve from the course is eventually going to help you to do further studies overseas and in India, and also to do job overseas. So these are going to give you a credit waiver. As you might be aware that many universities give weightage to courses like analytics, data science, AI, like that. So these courses are already a part of your curriculum. Chances are high even of you getting credit waiver, and chances are high of you getting preference in the first year university wherever you plan to study overseas. We have seen already students are getting much appreciation overseas, because you know that since India is developing country and there are many developed countries who are already working on these technology, and we are somewhere a decade backwards in respect to that technology and innovation when we talk about developed countries. So these are surely going to help you worldwide, and these credentials will be available to you for lifetime. So any given time you feel like embedding it in resume, sharing it over social media, or making a part of your profile, you can do that even for the sake of further studies overseas or for the sake of job overseas. It will be validated globally and appreciated worldwide.
Thank you so much. I think
And
Abhijit,
I will also add that probably at LPU, we also have an exchange program with some of the international universities.
definitely it's going to be 1+2 or 2+2 type of a program. You can explore through the website of LPU. You will find the way out. Thank you so much. Finally signing off. Thank you to Shifali Madam and Professor Tewari.
Thank you very
Professor.
much.
Thank you.